Hayden Paddon started rally driving when he was 15 years old. He mostly drove in New Zealand in his first 8 years, and made his WRC debut in 2007, when the WRC visited his native country. Sadly, he retired the event, but he also competed in Wales Rally GB later that year, making his debut on European soil, but also had to retire because he got too many punctures. In 2008, Hayden became the New Zealand Rally Champion and defended his title in 2009. Because Hayden was starting to show great pace, he was invited to Pirelli's Star Driver program in 2010, and he was joining very fast drivers in the program. He competed in 8 WRC rallies in 2010, with his best finish coming from his home rally in New Zealand, where he won the PWRC category and finished P14 overall. In addition to his win, he also grabbed 4 podiums throughout the year by finishing 3rd in Finland, 2nd in Germany, 2nd in Japan, and 3rd in Wales. One of the reasons why Hayden was highly valued is the fact that he was also fast on tarmac rallies. In 2011, when all of Hayden's rivals were switching to S2000 cars, Hayden remained in the PWRC, this time with a Subaru Impreza, and had a sole goal of winning the PWRC championship. He won 4 rallies out of the 5 that were taken into account, and won the championship comfortably, ahead of Patrick Flodin. In 2012, he also upgraded to an S2000 car. He won 2 rallies, but also had some mechanical problems throughout the year that cost him good results and points. But he himself also made some mistakes, like in France, where he was comfortably leading the category before he went off on the last stage of the rally. He finished the season 4th in the category, but he won 64 stages throughout the year, which was almost twice as much as his nearest competitor. Looking at stage wins, it's quite easy to see who was the fastest driver of the season, but sadly, being the fastest isn't always enough in the WRC. To finish first you have to finish. The 2013 season was not as intense as the year before. He wanted to find a way to a WRC car because he had more than proven his worth in the S2000 cars. He entered 3 rallies with the Skoda Fabia S2000 and rented a Ford Fiesta WRC from M Sport for Rally Catalunya, where he made his WRC car debut. I wouldn't say it was the most impressive WRC car debut, but it was enough for Hyundai, who was making a comeback to the WRC in 2014 and were looking for fast, young and hungry drivers. His first year with the WRC car was basically for learning. He drove 6 rallies with the Hyundai i20 WRC and took his first stage win in Catalunya, where he won SS3 PIRELLI'S, which by any means isn't the easiest stage in the calendar to win. That stage win, in my opinion, is where Hayden made his name heard. In 2015, he continued where he left off. Immediately in Sweden, he picked up his best ever finish, as he finished 5th and picked up his first podium in Sardinia, where he finished 2nd. He finished the season 9th, but the season was still a success. He drove 1 rally less than his competitors and finished only 6 points behind 6th place. 2016 was the best season Hayden's ever had. He had 3 retirements that season, and they all happened at the first half of the season. The funny thing is that all of his podiums also came from the first half of the season. He finished 2nd in Sweden and then won Rally Argentina, with probably the most amazing Powerstage drive to date. With just the Powerstage to go, Hayden was leading in front of Ogier by 2.6 seconds, and the Powerstage was 16.3 k's long. Hayden was 11.2 seconds faster than his closest rival on the stage, and 11.7 seconds faster than Ogier. In rally terms, winning 11 seconds in a 16k stage is straight up madness, and to do it against Ogier is even more crazy. He finished the season 4th with 12 stage wins. Because of his good season, he was guaranteed a seat for 2017, where the WRC moved on to new regulations where the cars had more aero, power and a central diff. His time with the new regulations got off to an awful start. On the first rally in Monte Carlo, in the first stage, Hayden and his co-driver John Kennard slid off the road and hit the spectator, who sadly succumbed to his injuries. Understandably, Hayden and John immediately retired from the rally. Hayden has talked about the incident and understandably stated that he struggled to get over it. He knew that it wasn't his fault and a lot of bad luck was involved, but it's still a huge mental obstacle to overcome. Obviously, this left a huge mark on the whole season, and Hayden struggled to find pace he had the year before. 3 retirements in Portugal, Sardinia and Finland didn't help his case, and he finished the season in 8th with 2 podiums and 12 stage wins. Because of his difficult season, Hyundai didn't sack him, but gave him a partial program in 2018. He got to drive 7 rallies, but this was basically his last chance to prove his worth. He did very well in my opinion. He had more points than Sordo, who also got to drive 7 rallies, and had 11 fewer points than Mikkelsen, who got to drive the whole season. Hayden had 2 podiums and 6 stage wins in 2018, but Hyundai still decided to let him go and chose Mikkelsen and Sordo for 2019. Okay, I can understand why maybe Sordo was selected, but Mikkelsen over Hayden? I don't understand. So for 2019, Hayden had to figure out what to do. He took his Hyundai i20 AP4 out of the garage and competed in New Zealand, where he won every rally he entered with ease. They had plans to enter Rally Finland with a Ford Fiesta WRC, but during the pre-event test, there was a rock on the line, which threw the car out of the line and they had a huge crash, which meant that there was no car left for them to start in Finland. At the end of 2019, he entered Wales Rally GB with a Ford Fiesta R5, but that didn't go well. After the first 3 stages, he was 20 seconds behind and then crashed. In 2020, he entered only 1 rally. But, it wasn't because he was sitting on his couch at home. Hayden started a project that left the FIA and every other manufacturer on their toes. He built the world's first electric rally car out of Hyundai Kona. When the FIA and every WRC manufacturer were thinking how could they incorporate a hybrid system into a WRC car, Hayden went a step further and just flat out built a fully electric rally car. The Hyundai Kona EV rally car, its official name, looks very impressive from the videos that Hayden has released. But he has also mentioned that a lot of work is still to be done with the car. The car generates about 1,000 horsepower and weighs 1.4 tons, a little more than WRC cars. But the weight of the car is much lower because the electric motors take so little space and can be mounted basically on the axle. Hayden has also mentioned multiple times that you will have to have a different driving style because of the instant torque, and maybe this will play right into his hands when the WRC switches over to fully electric cars. Then Hayden will be the only one with a lot of experience with a car like this. Even if he's not driving one of those cars in the championship, he still has very valuable knowledge about building an electric rally car, so teams might hire him just for his expertise.
So please whatever. Please I want to reach 1 million likes. So please Okay, thank you.